You may own the company, Michael, but one day you'll come to me. And when you do, remember, Sess, every king needs a kingmaker.
Now I will have company, and you will have useless older father and your dream.
It was Christmas night in New York, the city that never slept. And yet somehow, tonight felt frozen in time. Beneath the glow of street lamps and the hum of carols, one mansion stood silent, the home of the man who once built America's fastest dreams. At the center of the long oak table sit his two sons. Michael Ganassi, 35, sharp suit, sharper tongue. Ryan Andretti, 27, calm eyes, grease on his hands, the quiet dreamer. The only sound the ticking of an antique clock and the crackle of a fading fire. Every kingdom has its storm, and tonight the storm didn't rage outside, it was sitting right at that table. Michael tosses a thick folder across the table. Michael, coldly, "I've already spoken to the board." They all agree. "You're too young, Ryan. This company needs leadership, not hope." Ryan, quietly, "Leadership without vision is just control, Michael." Michael, mocking smile. "Vision? You've been fixing engines in that dusty garage since college. You think that makes you ready to run a billion-dollar brand?" Richard, tired, voice trembling. "Enough. It's Christmas, boys." The clock ticks. The air thickens. Ryan, firm. "Dad, I don't want your company. I want your trust. I believe we can build something new, something that carries your name forward." Michael, snapping. "You think passion pays bills? This empire doesn't run on dreams." Ryan, leaning forward, intense. "No, it runs on faith, the same faith that made you rich, Michael." "But you lost it." Richard looks at both sons, eyes glistening with regret. Richard, "When I started this, all I had was a broken wrench and a dream. You two were supposed to build on it, not burn it." Michael, pressing papers toward him. "Dad, sign it. Make it official." Richard stares at the papers, his shaking hands hovering over the pen. Ryan watches silently, pain hidden behind composure. And in that moment, a father faced the choice no man ever wants between blood and legacy. Between the son who built with him and the one who built beyond him. Richard signs. The pen scratches across the paper like thunder. Ryan closes his eyes. Ryan, softly. "You just gave away your company, but not your name." Michael, laughing. "You'll thank me when you're done dreaming, little brother." Ryan stands, calm but broken. Ryan, steady voice.
You may own the company, Michael, but one day you'll come to me. And when you do, remember, Sess, every king needs a kingmaker.
Ryan walks out, snow swirling around him as the door closes. Michael watches, amused, unaware he just lost far more than he gained. The papers were signed, but destiny doesn't take orders. Somewhere deep in that night, a new engine began to hum the sound of defiance, the sound of rebirth. The next morning, Ryan stands before an abandoned garage, a relic of his father's early days. Snow dusts the sign, Penske Motors established, 1974. Legacies aren't inherited, they're rebuilt. Ryan pushes open the creaking door. Inside dust, broken tools, old car frames, and a wall covered with his father's sketches. He exhales, Ryan whispering, "Let's start again." The camera pans up to the sunrise, painting the world gold. That night, the world celebrated Christmas, but in one forgotten garage on the edge of New York, a new empire was being born, one spark, one dream, one father's legacy at a time. There's something about starting over. It doesn't begin with noise, it begins with silence. And for Ryan Andretti, that silence was louder than any engine he had ever heard. Weeks passed since that Christmas night. The mansion lights had dimmed, the newspapers had written their stories, And the world had already chosen its winner, Michael Ganassi, the new face of Penske Motors. But far from the headlines in a forgotten corner of the city, Ryan worked alone. His father's old garage, the one with the leaking roof and rusted doors, had become his world. He didn't have a team. He didn't have money. All he had were broken tools, half-dead machines, and belief. He woke before sunrise, hands covered in oil, clothes torn, eyes tired. Each night he looked at the stars through the cracked roof and whispered, "Dad, I'll fix what we broke." The first car he built wasn't pretty. It was small, uneven, and the engine coughed more than it roared. But when he turned the key, it started. And that sound, that trembling hum of metal coming alive again, made him smile for the first time in months. One evening, as the city lights shimmered in the distance, a black car stopped outside his garage. From it stepped Richard Penske, his father. Older now, frailer, walking with a cane but his eyes still sharp. He stood at the doorway watching his son work. For a long moment, neither spoke. Then softly, Richard said, "You still believe you can build something from nothing?" Ryan didn't stop working. He said, "That's how you started, isn't it?" The old man nodded, a faint smile forming. "Yes. But I had your mother. I had support. You have no one." Ryan looked up, his voice calm but strong. "Then maybe that's what makes it real." Richard stepped closer, running his fingers along the dusty hood of the unfinished car. "Your brother's building a racing empire, son. He's got engineers, investors, sponsors. What are you building?" Ryan looked at the car and said quietly, "A heartbeat." The old man didn't reply. He turned to leave, but before stepping out, he paused at the door. "You have your mother's fires," he said, "but fire alone doesn't build an empire." Ryan smiled. "No, but it starts one." And as Richard left, something shifted. For the first time in years, he didn't feel disappointed. He felt proud. Days turned into months. Ryan's small workshop became a symbol of persistence. He began hiring old mechanics men long forgotten by the big racing firms. He brought in a young street racer named Leo Hunt, a kid who could make an engine sing just by listening. He brought in Sarah Quinn, a designer once rejected for dreaming too big. Together, they built a team, not of perfection, but of belief. Ryan called his company Phoenix Motors, a name that meant to rise from ashes. Their first car, the Phoenix One, was ready in spring. It wasn't as fast as Penske's or as polished as Ganassi's, but it had soul. Every part carried a story. Every bolt had meaning. One night, the team gathered around as Ryan prepared to test the car on an old abandoned track. The sky was dark, the air sharp with anticipation. Leo adjusted the engine and whispered, "If this thing flies, we're legends." Ryan smiled faintly, placing his hand on the hood. "We're already legends, Leo. They just don't know it yet." The engine roared to life. Not smooth, not perfect, but alive. As Ryan drove into the night, the headlights cut through the darkness, carving a path through the fog. Every turn, every roar of the engine was a declaration that passion could still defeat power. When he returned, the team was cheering. Sarah wiped her tears, whispering, "You did it." Ryan looked at her and said, "No, we did it. And this is just the beginning." Back at the Penske headquarters, Michael Ganassi watched the news. A small independent startup had just completed its first prototype, Phoenix Motors. The reporter said, "Founded by Ryan Andretti, the estranged son of the Penske family." Michael's smile faded. He turned off the TV and muttered, "He still thinks he can challenge me?" His assistant replied cautiously, "Sir, he's gaining attention. People love his story. The rebel, the dreamer." Michael slammed his hand on the desk. "Dreamers don't win races. Builders do." He stared out the window, the city lights reflecting in his cold eyes. If he wants to play, I'll show him what power really means. And somewhere across that same city, Ryan stood in his dimly lit garage, staring at the glowing engine of the Phoenix 1. He wasn't looking for revenge. He wasn't chasing fame. He was chasing something deeper, redemption. He whispered, "This isn't about beating him. It's about earning who I was meant to be." The light flickered, the car hummed, and outside the wind carried his voice through the night. The voice of a man rebuilding destiny. A man the world had forgotten, but would soon remember. Ryan Andretti. There's a silence that follows success. It doesn't sound like victory. It sounds like waiting for the next fall. Months after the launch of Phoenix Motors, the name Ryan Andretti had spread across America. From Detroit to Los Angeles, from New York to Texas, everyone talked about the boy who built a dream from ashes. Celebrities wanted his cars, racers wanted his engines. Even the mayor's son, Lucas Hawthorne, ordered a custom racing car because he saw a beautiful racer car in City made by Ryan Company, but not everyone celebrated. Back at Penske Ganassi Motors, Michael watched the rise of his younger brother with bitterness brewing in his chest. Each headline felt like a challenge. Each success of Ryan's like a wound that refused to heal. One morning, Michael stormed into his office, slamming the newspaper onto the desk. Phoenix Motors dominates street circuit in LA. He looked at his investors, his voice cold and sharp. "He's using my father's name, my legacy, to make himself a hero. I'll bury him in his own fame." His chief engineer hesitated. "Sir, our models, they're failing emissions. The investors are leaving." Michael cut him off. "Then we build something faster, something no one can match." He didn't realize that what was failing wasn't the machines, it was his vision. Pride had replaced innovation. Numbers had replaced purpose. Meanwhile, in the quiet corner of the city, Ryan's factory buzzed with life. Old machines sang again, and new workers joined the mission. On one side of the workshop, Richard Penske, once forgotten, now sat at a small desk, sketching blueprints. His trembling hands guided by wisdom rather than strength. Ryan often came to sit beside him. No words, just quiet respect between a father and a son, rebuilding what years had broken. One evening, as the rain poured outside, Ryan noticed his father coughing heavily, his breath short. He rushed to him, holding his shoulder. "Dad, you need to rest." Richard smiled faintly. "Rest is for the ones who've finished building. I still have work to do." Ryan frowned. "You don't need to prove anything anymore." The old man looked at him, eyes soft but firm. "Maybe not to the world, but to myself, yes." He handed Ryan a blueprint, a new engine design. "This is what will make Phoenix soar. But it needs precision, it needs time." Ryan nodded, emotion in his voice. "We'll build it together." Richard smiled again. "That's all I ever wanted to hear." A few weeks later, a phone call shattered the fragile calm. Michael's company was collapsing, investors gone, contracts canceled. The empire that once ruled American racing was crumbling under its own pride. Late one night, Ryan stood by his garage door when a familiar car stopped outside. Michael stepped out, exhausted, defeated, but still trying to stand tall. He looked at his younger brother and said quietly, "I need your help." Ryan studied him, the same man who once mocked him, now humbled by failure. He replied gently, "It's not me you need, Michael. It's Dad." Michael's jaw tightened. "He won't see me." Ryan looked away. "Then maybe you should ask yourself why." Michael's voice cracked for the first time in years. "Because I forgot who built me." The next morning, Ryan convinced their father to see Michael. It wasn't easy. Richard resisted at first, years of pain still buried deep. "He called me useless, Ryan. He took everything we built and turned it into numbers. Why should I help him now?" Ryan's answer was simple. "Because you taught me something. We build cars to move forward, not to stay stuck in the past." Richard stared at him for a long moment, then nodded. "Call him in." When Michael entered the old workshop, time seemed to freeze. He saw his father hunched over a workbench, the same hands that once built empires now trembling from age. Michael whispered, "Dad, I'm sorry." The old man didn't look up at first. He
Show
simply
me
said,
you've learned.
Dad, I'm sorry. Then teach me again.
Sorry doesn't fix broken engines.
"Sorry doesn't fix broken engines. Show me you've learned." Michael nodded, fighting tears. "Then teach me again." That was the moment the three of them, the father and his two sons, became one team again. Weeks passed. Together they built the Phoenix X, the ultimate racing machine, engineered from their father's old blueprint, fueled by Ryan's innovation and refined by Michael's precision. When the car was unveiled, America stood still. The press called it a miracle born from forgiveness. Even the Prime Minister's office ordered one. At the Grand Racing Championship in Indianapolis, the Phoenix X roared across the track. Ryan stood in the pit, watching with silent pride. Beside him, Michael tightened his brother's gloves and whispered, "Bring her home." As the lights turned green, the car exploded forward. The sound wasn't just horsepower, it was history healing itself. Every turn was a memory, every lap a redemption. When the Phoenix X crossed the finish line first, the crowd erupted. Tears rolled down Richard's face as he whispered, "This isn't about beating him. It's about earning who I was meant to be."
Hey everyone, I really hope you enjoyed this story. If you did, make sure to hit that subscribe button and join our journey.
My goal is to reach 1 million subscribers by 2026, and with your support, Corlin, I know we can make it happen. Thanks for being here, and I'll see you in the next story.